Shalom, everyone. Pray you all be blessed out there, right? We're going to do this want nothing today. Why? Because it's a perfect time, right? It's a perfect time. I received a message see, yeah, from a sister. Her name was Mrs. E. May be able to share my screen. No, that ain't the one. It's in the downloads. Bang. Right. Let me see if I can share this screen. My fault. Right. She left it on the evil spirits video. And it says, don't be discouraged, my brother. Keep pushing for the Most High. I see 400 views, but about 10% in likes. It's only a remnant on this narrow road, only for a few. Many false prophets have gone out into the world, right? And I agree with that wholeheartedly. I agree, right? Sis is on point. She on point, right? But let's break down what she said, right? Don't be discouraged, my brother. I don't need courage. I don't need courage, right? I can't be discouraged, right? It's not my mission, right? I already won. Already won this battle, right? Nor can I fail, right? I can't fail. There isn't anything that I want. I'm feeding off of the Most High. The Most High wants this, and we know He get what He wants. Period. Right? And even if it don't happen in my lifetime, it's gonna happen. Right? Maybe all I do is just get it going. Maybe all I do is put the mind in others who will bring it forth later. You know, and I can't fail. I don't have any expectations. I can't lose, right? And when I read that, because the sister is genuine, they've been dissing a lot. Other people, they've been dissing, and they've been trying to hurt my feelings when I read their comment. And them, I just blew that off, whatever. But her, she's really sincere and genuine. She's looking, you know, at the 400 views and only, you know, 40 likes. That's 10% of 400, right? So she looking at about 40 likes, 400 views. Why? Because most of the people coming here are enemies, right? And that's okay, because they're not an enemy of mine. They're an enemy of the one who they say they serving, right? And I feel for the dummies that don't know what's going on. But that leadership, they know what's going on. They know whose side they chose. I don't know what flipped them, what turned them, and I don't know when it happened. But I have an idea. For the main ones, I have an idea because I know when they stop attracting me. My spirit is after nothing but Christ. And I know when I stop seeing Christ. Feel what I'm saying? And then it comes back that, wow, they did some things, you know. They restarted over some things with the organization, and that's on paper. And guess what year that was that they did it? 2018. So it's like as soon as they did that, the Most High was like, okay, y'all cut off. He started talking to me. And I find this out 7 years later, y'all. And I'm like, man. And they're telling me what's going on and this and that and this and that and the twin and the Dan Peterson. And I asked, like, okay, well, what year did this happen? What year did that happen? Guess what they said? 2018. And I was like, wow. So the Most High saw that and turned my direction. He turned to the next one, the next runner up. He saw that and he turned and he started talking to me the same way he started talking to Noah, right? He saw what was going on and he said, listen, Noah, you need to build that boat, buddy, because I'm about to do this thing, right? That's the same way he turned to me in 2018. He see that refinancing thing or whatever it was. He saw that happen and he turned right to me. Okay, Bronze, right? But don't be discouraged, my brother. Keep pushing for the Most High. That's done. I see 400 views. Let's share it. Let's have you look at what I'm looking at. Right? I see 400 views, but about 10% in likes. It's only a remnant on this narrow road, only for a few. Many false prophets have come into the world. Okay, now this is the sister. She knows what's up, y'all. Miss E, shout out to Miss E. She knows what's going on. She knows more than she's saying here, right? It's only a remnant, only a few of us, many false prophets. She knows something, because it ain't nothing but false prophets out there, right? The real ones, I know. And we underground. We ain't out there yet, but we coming, right? And we the ones that's really for the Most High, and we the ones that ain't compromised. We the Eleazars, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna choose death. You gotta kill us. And that's what happened, y'all. Man, they was looking at me, they was watching me, and they was nervous all these years because they wanted to turn me. And they didn't know what to do. They wasn't gonna rise me through them ranks because they knew I'd never become no Mason. They didn't want to kick me out because this was gonna happen. So they were just like trapped. And they had to hold me in that chair as long as they could. Right? And then all of a sudden I'm leaving, right? And I'm trying to leave. I can I can I can imagine they panicked. Oh, it's going down right now. He's leaving right now. He's, you know what I mean? That was the pain. Man, he's leaving. And we didn't get to turn him, y'all. He's dangerous, right? Yeah. I represent how much time you out of. You running out of time, buddy. Right? I can imagine they taskmasters was like, you better do something about this. That's why you saw that lunatic in front of that camera the way you seen it. He had to destroy me. Right? He had to make sure the body did not trust me. Right? He had to take everything he had and destroy me. Shalom, Brother Brown, caught you right at bedtime. Grace above gold, where you at? It's bedtime. All right, must be about 10:46. Where you at? Yep, you brothers have to step up and get out of Babylon. Jordan is the safe place. Hey, I hear you, sister. A gathering in Jordan, and I watched some of your videos, and I know a lot of what you're saying is true, right? Because some of the same people called me, right? And confirmed a lot of, okay, the sister gathering in Jordan is not crazy, y'all. A lot of what she's saying is the truth. Y'all better stop blowing her off, writing off everything she's saying. Right? Believe all things. Ain't don't it say that in our chapter? First Corinthians chapter 13, it says that. Believe all things. Give everything, you know, the possibility to be true. Why? Because you're gonna write off a lot of stuff that'll help you out of a snare. But you so religious and caught up in all of the blah blah, and then you ready to just throw away everything that sounds outlandish. But let me tell you, the truth is the truth is stranger than fiction, right? The truth is way stranger. Truth is way stranger than fiction. But I'm Romans 12, y'all, from the top. I don't got no expectations. I can't win. I can't lose. Everything is just what it is. I don't expect anything. It may not happen in my lifetime, right? But I bet you everything I'm saying, it might get it started, you know. It might spark the mind who starts it. And all he do is get it started, right? Who knows? I might be the granddaddy of this thing, but I tell you, the Most High, He want Israel doing for themselves, and He want us to love. He can't do nothing with us if we don't do that. He trying to get us to the love, but if we don't, and once you come down with that cancer, most cancers you don't live a year with, right? You cancer is fast. You be out of there. And if you don't know to stop eating starch and sugar, you're gonna feed it. You either starve it or you feed it. If you feed it, it's gonna take you out. You know, but if we don't get this health in order, we ain't gonna be able to reach the levels that we need to reach. So we gotta get healthier. We gotta start living longer off of medication and all that. Cause once you start taking that medication, your head get loopy. I ain't on no medication, y'all. I ain't took no medication. Woo! Right? I'm not on any medication. They tried to say I took the jab. I didn't take no jab, y'all. Right? I promise you that. You ain't gonna see that nowhere in my medical records. Right? Eat better, drink natural teas, parasite cleanse, eat clean. All of that, Sister Delise. Shalom, Delise. Can't wait to see you, sister. I gotta see you soon. Right? Beauty is within. Shalom, friend. Yeah, let's read that. Let's read that Romans 12 from the top. Every time I try to go here and talk about this, they start cutting me off the internet, y'all. They start interrupting my internet connection. So we gonna try it though. But first let me get some light. Cause I lost my little piece of sun. That's why I turned this way so I could get some more of that sun. The last minute of that sun, I tried to reserve it. But now, I guess it's over. So I might as well go back to my regular post. Or nah, I don't want to go over there. Them bugs are crazy over there. Or maybe we could get a minute in. It ain't that dark. Let me see. I got another little lantern. Hold up. Got a little nippy out here. My white girl right here. White girl right here. She be running off every night. White girl's never home at night. Get out of here. Go ahead. You had your cameo. Get out of here. About the jab, I caught that too. Richard, whatever his name is, was on live. He tried to throw that out there in the same context of you insinuating you got jabbed. That was some real dirty work. Repent, Rich. Uh, that's and see that's what it was like, you know. That realizing what was really going on, it was like he's not gonna repent for nothing he doing to me. Like that's you know, he got way deeper things to deal with than that. I didn't even expect no repentance no more, no apology or nothing after I found out what was really, really going on. Uh-uh. Right? But man, the Most High knows, right? And that's why I said I never question the Most High again, because he's like, man, what you think is ain't. Everything you everything you think is ain't. Don't tell me. Let me show you who people are, right? Let me show you who people really are, right? But let's try to read this Romans 12. Last time I tried to read this, my joint flipped out, right? Romans 12 from the top. I beseech you, therefore, brethren. So he's saying, I beg. To beseech is to beg. I beg you, my brethren, right? By the mercies of God. He's begging us by the mercy of God. So it is by the mercy of God that he's begging us this, right? This is what you supposed to be doing with your mercy, and it's what he's doing with his. That's what he means by the mercy, right? He's putting his mercy on this, right? That you do what? That ye present your bodies as a living sacrifice. Do you understand what he's asking you? He's telling you to let go of the whole rest of your life, right? Whatever, whatever you thought your life was worth, nah, let it go, right? And if you do that, that's the only way you're gonna reap the full benefit of what this whole walk is worth. Is if you do this. If you don't, you're playing with the Most High, and guess what he's gonna do? He's gonna play with you, right? He gonna play with you. Like I said before, if you play with the Most High, he gonna play with you. We did a whole one on that, right? We did a whole one on that. But I beseech you, I beg you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice. So if you present your body, that means you presented ain't your mind a part of your body? What about your heart? Right? He wants your mind, your heart, right? All thy soul, all thy might. Remember all that? This is him asking for that, right? Holy, acceptable unto God. So holy, that means that, right? That ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, presented holy, presented acceptable unto God, which is what? Which is your reasonable service. Your reasonable service, y'all. Which means you should be willing to do that. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Okay, no problem. No, all right. Your reasonable service. He gave us all of this, right? So in real life, we should be willing to give it back. Right? That's what that's saying. Be willing to turn it right back into the Father. And that's what we're seeing not happen with a lot of us, right? A lot of us get to that one thing to where it's like, nah, I'm not giving that up, right? Some people fall out the whole truth altogether. Other people will try to juggle, right? Try to do both. try to straddle the fence, right? Or try to come in knowing that when things get too deep, they're going out, right? And they go get their break, they go get their breather real quick, and then they pop back in, right? After they get a little breather real quick, you know, they're coming knowing that they're not gonna give all, right? When he says surrender all, you gotta surrender everything, right? You gotta present your body as a living sacrifice, right? Living, so you're alive, but sacrifice. You burnt up on that altar, right? This is acceptable unto God, right? And what else is it? Your reasonable service, right? Verse 2, and be not conformed to this world, right? So the world is going to be trying to tell you, the world is going to be trying to lay all of its uh, will on you, right? And impose its desires on you in your life. Oh no, you should be like this. You should do that. What? They got you doing this, you doing that, what? Right? The world is gonna try to uh impose its will on you, right? But be not conformed to this world. To conform is to yield yourself over to what they talking about. If you conform, that means they was trying to turn you, and you went on and you turned. You turned away from everything you was feeling personally and said, okay, just because you guys are saying this and that and the other, I'm gonna latch on to what y'all are talking about, right? And you killed out, you threw water on your fire for the Most High for these people, right? And went and moped back to the world. Oh, okay. I guess I guess pork ain't that bad, right? I guess it don't matter who anybody is, you know. That ain't what the Bible is saying. It ain't saying that. The Bible didn't split us up by nation. Everybody is everybody, and nobody is, chosen or any of that, right? Whatever way you could have conformed to the world, right? How they see things. This is saying don't do that, right? And be not conformed to this world. Be different from the world. Don't go be like them. Don't plunge yourself back into that valley of dry bones, right? Nah. Be not conformed to this world, but do what? But be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So your mind is already transformed, right? You know better in your head, but your body not doing that, right? So this is telling us to be transformed, your whole body. Let your whole body be transformed by the changes that your mind done made, right? Because you know right from wrong. You've been in the law, that's in your head already, right? You know about Christ, you got the red letter precepts, you got all that. But your life ain't reflecting that, right? This is telling you to let your life reflect your mind, right? Yeah. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good, right? You got to prove what is that good. This is the way we show God in the earth. This is what he's saying. And he said this a few times in the book, this concept, when he says, prove me, right? So we prove God to these people when we do this, right? They're able to look at us and see him, right? And then we'll be real, you know, and he'll be real. right? This is the way we show him that the Most High ain't fake, right? Why? Because if you don't do this, you're going to have portions of yourself disconnected from this. And those are the parts of you that they're going to point at and say, see, that's fake. The Most High is fake, right? That's not real. This and that. See, look at him. He's drunk, or he's this and that, you know. He's sleeping around on his wife. See, he told you, right? Oh, look at him. He's lying. He's a liar, right? And that's why it didn't make no sense to me that people would risk being caught in lies and things like that. When this man, if he get caught and be shown to be proved a liar, it's a wrap for that whole organization. It's over, right? It's over. And it didn't make no sense to me that over this he would risk all that. But now I understand, you know? Now I understand why he would do that. Now it makes sense. It makes sense why people would do that, right? And be ye not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good, what is what good and acceptable and perfect will of God. By doing this, we show them what the will of God is, right? Yeah. So, I'm burnt up, y'all. I'm burnt up. I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to win. You know, I already seen where I'm gonna be chilling until Christ call us out of there, right? Or that became clear too. I got zapped out of here, y'all, again this morning, because I had questions. I didn't know what would have to happen, but remember when I said I saw two, I saw two of them souls hit before me and send a surge, a shot, and the second one, that's probably when you go back out, right? And that's when you don't come back here. So that's why that didn't happen to me, because I believe that's when it's too late, right? Once you connect, and I was deeper than my man. He didn't go in that deep. He went in like halfway to where I was at. Because he said he was in between the light and the earth. And I know I went all the way in there. I was all the way in there. I almost hit. I was like that. But you hit, boom, you get that energy. But like I said, it was some coming out. It was some like they was getting ready to hit, but they didn't, and they were just stuck there. I believe them is probably coma people, right? Coma people, y'all. But it's what it is. You get your full charge, and then you go out. We were love. We were love. Right? So that makes all the sense. But you beat the waiting place and all of that. You ain't nowhere waiting. You ain't stuck in no one place. You still employed. You become a spirit, right? But did you become the spirit of love, though? Wow. Did you become the spirit of love? Yikes. I bet Abraham's bosom is nice too, you know, to go chill with them in that paradise. I bet it's beautiful, right? And then you could walk over to the edge and look in the torments, right? And see what's going on over there. We know what happened about that story. We could, where's my, let's get a note on that. We're gonna read Luke 16 one of these times. Because you could yell at them back and forth from Abraham's bosom to the chambers of torments. Y'all could talk to each other. They over there begging for water and stuff, you know. I think that'd be a deep lie. What you think? So we're gonna come in here one of these times. We're gonna do Luke 16 and go through that. And they got a lot of torture chambers too over there too on the other side. So depending on what kind of person you are, you know, and what you sold your soul for and things like that, they got specific chambers for people, right? Specific chambers. But that's Abraham bosom, right? And then you have the Great Gulf fixed in between. And then on the other side is the torture chambers, right? It's a lot. It's a lot of different areas you can end up going to. All right, but I don't got nothing I expect no more, y'all. So look at me and think I look as ridiculous as you want to. I don't care about that, right? There's not much of anything that I care about. Why? Because my father does not lose. He gets what he wants, right? And if he don't got it, he don't want it, right? Isaiah Isaiah 45 and 7. Let's go there. I don't think we've been there since I've been doing this. And we got to get there. Let's go to Isaiah 45:7. I form light. I create darkness. I make peace. I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. He did all these things. Whatever you see, it's working the way he wanted to work. Why would he want to do that? You know? Why would he want to do this and that? You know, the atheists, they talk slick. Guess what? It's his will that you talk like that. Right? Because everything belongs to him. Nobody can question you with what's yours. You know? I may want to go buy a pair of brand new shoes or some boots and tear them up, you know? Run them all through the mud. They're mine to do that, you know? That's why I buy shoes, you know? That's why I buy work shoes, because I'm gonna just tear them up. You know, who's to say why he does what he does, and who's to upbraid him for doing what he wants to do? He does whatever he wants with his creations, right? He created them. You don't gotta understand or nothing if he don't want you to, right? But I tell you one thing, uh, he has to influence his elect, right? He has to influence his elect. He has to collect his elect. So he gonna do all kind of stuff, you know, to make you think things, and to make you feel things, and to drive you in the direction that he wants you to go. Right? He gonna get what he want. Period. Right? He forms light. He's the father of light. Right? Light is his. He formed it. Right? What else did he do? He created darkness. Right? He created darkness. He created Satan. Right? So he's going to use Satan. He's using Satan. Right? To train his elect, to make us earn this next heaven and earth, which we wouldn't have to do if Adam didn't fall. But Adam failed. Right? So he sent Christ. Adam got us into trouble. Christ gets us out. Two men that he sent. He sent a man got us in trouble. So he sent another man, he's going to get us out of trouble. Right? Follow Christ. Christ said, I got to go. But a greater work than I've ever done, y'all are going to do. That's what he said. That's Christ's words. What's that greater work? 1 Corinthians chapter 13. That's what, right? I make peace. So when it's time for everything to simmer down, he can make that happen, right? What else he do? And I create evil. I create evil. So he has a purpose for whatever you see going on in the earth. And how does it end? I, the Lord, do all these things. So he's letting us know, don't give my credit nowhere else. Right? I'm doing all of this. Don't give the devil credit for nothing. The devil can't do nothing but what the Most High want him to do. And this earth, Job 9:24, is given over into the hand of the wicked, right? And also Isaiah, right? What else Isaiah say? Isaiah 14, right? Isaiah 14, I will be like the Most High. I will sit at the head of the congregation, right? So guess what? All of your congregations compromised, right? How could he say something like that? Well, show me one is keeping the law. Show me one is keeping the law and the gospel, right? How Revelations, is that Revelations 14? Wow, right? Isaiah 14 to Revelation 14. Is it Revelation 14 and 12? I think it's 14 and 12, if I remember correctly. Yes, it is. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that do what? That keep the commandments of God and the faith of Yasha, right? Oh, it's the reason they both chapter 14s. Because that's your way out of Isaiah 14, where the devil is going to be at the top of your congregation, right? And there's a certain organization, they sucked us in with the law in the beginning, and then as time went on, they just flipped on the law. Now the law don't mean nothing, right? The law doesn't mean anything. The Sabbath ain't being kept no more, right? Nothing means anything over there according to the law anymore. Everything is grace now. No wonder, right? Because hearts wasn't real to begin with, right? Or at some point people got flipped. People got flipped at some point. And you was just weaseled out. You was weaseled out of the law. And what you just seen recently wasn't Christ. That wasn't the way one brother should do another. So that's compromised. Good luck. Because you ain't this Revelation 14 and 12 right here. You're sounding more like that Isaiah 14, if you ask me. You sounded more like I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, right? I will be like the Most High. Sound more like that to me, right? I will ascend into the heavens. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God, right? I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Sound more like that if you ask me. It don't sound like here is the patience. What saints, right? Here are they that did what? What did they do? Keep the commandments of God and the faith of Yahshua. Yikes. Ouch. Hoo hoo hoo. It's ugly, y'all. Nothing is what you think it is in this earth, right? So it had to go this way. It had to go the way it went. And you know, every day I'm able to be here, y'all. I don't know how long that's gonna be, you know. I'm shocked. And everybody else is shocked. You know, my medical team and things like that, you know. None of us can believe how long I've been here. Been here 2 years. Been here 2 years, y'all. They didn't think I had this long, you know. But I'm still pushing. I don't know how much longer I got, but you know, what needs to be said is gonna be said, and what he showed me is gonna get out here, right? And it's to help the saints in the last days because we needed something, y'all. We was getting toe up. We was getting toe up, y'all. So I see why he did this. You know, he had to get the saints some things to look forward to, you know, right? Praying for me, all praises. The water. I appreciate you praying for me. And then in praying for me, you pray for you. And that's what made him do this. Was your love and your prayers. He pulled the trigger. When y'all was hurt like that, and y'all showed that love like that, and them prayers went up desperately the way they went up, in the desperation that they went up in, they said, check out what I'm about to do for y'all. And he pulled the trigger on it. You could be right now looking at this fake mask thinking that it's real. If I didn't come back here, you would have never seen the people act the fool that they acted to where you saw that mask come off. Right? And then the secret place exposed, right? Which don't mean nothing to the wicked. It don't mean nothing to the wicked. It ain't for them. It's for the righteous, you know, to get over their last little humps that they was dealing with or whatever, you know. Your your confirmation. Go ahead, yep. Go ahead, get over that last little hump, boom, boom. You know, repent, get that love going, and 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 blast past all these realms and be employed be employed by love. What you said, Delise, we need to do Matthew 5? Say less, sis. Let me make a note. Let me make a note just because you said. Do Matthew 5. Off top. Okay, got that. No, we ain't never run out of stuff to do. Yeah, but don't worry about nothing, fam. You know, just do what you can, to bring this about, Help us. Put forth what you can put forth, or don't, you know. But that's what you're looking forward to in the earth. Whenever anything happens, it's gonna be this. The children of Israel is gonna come up out of the way they've been getting fed and everything else. You're gonna make your own clothes. You're gonna do everything for yourself. We're starting at food, but eventually you're gonna do everything for yourself. The Most High is just starting with the food, because health is wealth. You know, if you die on this food, you ain't gonna get a chance to do nothing else. We got to get the food together first, and then the rest of it, you're just gonna correct. And to the children of Israel are just gonna be self-sufficient, right? And then you're gonna tackle this love, right? I want to go somewhere. I want to go somewhere. Because how could we miss it, man? How did we miss it? Every camp, everybody, right? They all missed it. None is teaching this, right? Matthew 24 and 14, what does it say? And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So this is holding up the end. It's holding the end up. Then shall the end come. That ain't gonna happen unless what's preached? What's the gospel, y'all? The gospel of the kingdom. What's the gospel of the kingdom? What kingdom? Right? Be preached for a witness unto all nations, every nation, everybody, everybody, right? All nations. What is it to be preached? 1 Corinthians chapter 13. That's what? Love, y'all, charity, selflessness, right? Long as everybody is stuck on their self and trying to take care of their own self and, every man for himself syndrome and all of that, long as we like that, the end ain't coming. The end ain't came yet because this ain't there. It ain't there yet. Come on, you didn't get a notification? Cuz they know what's up. I done said too much on here now, and now they're going to block everything. They're going to block everything now. It's a lot of people not getting their notifications. But now that y'all know what's going on, search me out, you know? Search me out. Or come to the page and find the last live, you know? And anybody, if you're here and you're checking this out, uh, make another page. Make another page and just start uploading all these lives on it. The more people do this, the better. So that we keep this on the internet no matter what, you know? Because they gonna stop playing with me in a minute. They may be done wipe this whole page out, you know? I wouldn't put it past them. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if I came in here and I'm locked out of YouTube forever. Right? So yeah, that wouldn't shock me one bit. So y'all make duplicate pages, y'all make dummy pages out there. Right? Suck this off the internet and put it back. Because they're gonna try to get rid of this. It was simple all this time. Right? Clean food coming in, love going out. That's all this is about. Simple, right? Ain't the Most High simple? He's simple, y'all. My fault, I lost all light. I lost all light. And my lantern ain't working. And my video equipment lights, they way over there. And when I turn that on, I'm going to get all of them bugs. So we only got a few more minutes. We just got a few more minutes to go. But I'm done, y'all. I'm already dead and all of that. Right? Already won. Already lost. All of that. I got no expectations. None. Right? I know what I would like to see. But I mean, I understand if that mind and that importance ain't in the world yet. I understand that. You know? It might be another 40, 50 years, right, before things materialize. You know, he didn't tell me that. He told me what to do. He told me what to say, right? I don't know nothing that's going to happen in the middle. I'm shocked just like y'all. But I tell you what, it was explosive as soon as I opened my mouth, y'all. It was believable looking at the outcome of things and how the community was shook. I don't believe none of these numbers. They can control that stuff, right? And they know that y'all look for numbers. They know y'all looking for stuff like that. So if you see these numbers low, you'll say, "Oh, he's crazy," you know? Ain't nobody biting at that garbage, and then you leave it alone. Yeah, that's the way to bamboozle you, right? Let no man beguile you, right? You know? Nah, 'cause, nah, 'cause, 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 'cause I don't think you go from what the numbers that this page was doing to just dry like that, you know? Nah. No, I don't believe that. Can't never trust no liars. Right? You hear me? All praises. We hear you, Akya. That's all it takes is for us to hear you. That's all. It's okay, Akya. Your voice is speaking volumes to you, right? To you. And that's all that matters. That's all that matters is that this word go out. Once it go into our minds, they can't do nothing with it. Right? Let's bring one to mind. The Most High made that plain in Isaiah 55 and 11 when he said, "So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth, it shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereunto I sent it," says our Father. So yeah, ain't no turning back, right? No Lot's wife, no pillar of salt, baby. This thing is gonna happen, right? Romans 6 and 13. If you want to get there, that's what I'm about to read. And we're gonna check out of here. Plant vineyards. Delise is pulling out uh, Psalm 107 and 37. And sow the fields and plant vineyards, which may yield fruits of increase. The water, sister, right? Yeah, do that. Why ain't we doing that? Do you really love the Most High? If we love the Most High, let's do what He say. You know, that's an instruction right there. This whole Bible is law. This whole Bible is the law. If the Most High say do something, does it matter what part of the book He said do it at? The first five books of Moses is the foundation, but He kept on making becks and calls and instructions and, you know, telling us what to do. You know how many people would still be alive if we was listening to that right there? right? And sow the fields. He said the fields. Now, get down on your knees and put seeds in that dirt, right? And make yourself a watering system, Put some holes in some PVC, right? And wet your field up, right? And sow the fields and plant vineyards, which may do what? Yield fruits of increase. And then everybody come get it. Everybody come get it. Everybody in that region, come get it from the brethren. And I'm telling you, this kingdom will crash, y'all, because it's functioning off of Israelite dollars, y'all. Wherever we at, that's where they're the richest. That's why that is, because we are the consumers. Imagine if we ain't the consumers no more, but we consumers for ourselves. That's when the kingdom gonna flip, right? And that's when they not gonna be able to take it. They ain't gonna like us over here taking care of each other like this, and that's when they gonna come against us. They gonna hate it, y'all. They gonna be hurting. What happens to the work when the slaves is free? When the slaves is free, the money stop. Why? Because the labor has stopped. What was the labor doing? The labor was enabling you something to sell to get the money. Right? They feel it. You better believe. They feel our presence gone from the retail on Saturdays. Right? They're looking at that and they can see where they took the hit. Right? But let's break that down. Romans 6 and 13. Neither yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin. What are your members? Your hands and your feet, right? The parts of your body. They're not serving sin and unrighteousness anymore, right? Your members are yielded no longer as instruments of unrighteousness or sin. But what? But yield yourselves unto the Most High, right? Now you're using your members to do His work. Now, you see that? How? How have you rendered your members over to do the Most High's will? The next parenthesis says, as those, right? As those that are alive from the dead. How can you be alive but be dead? Romans 12 told you, right? You give your bodies as a living sacrifice, right? Bodies, members, it's the same thing. Your body is your members, right? As those that are alive from the dead. You alive, but you dead, right? The stuff that used to get your desire, it don't have it anymore. You don't got no desire to run them streets no more. You don't got that desire to go get high no more. You don't got that desire to go fornicate no more. You don't got that desire, right, to go be an instrument of chaos anymore. Fighting and all of that, brawls. Not you. You don't do these things anymore, right? They can't play on your emotions anymore and promise you things and have you show up, right? Ready to jump through hoops because you got some desire, right? Now they're telling you things that they want you to do, right? Because they really want your help, and you just like not interested. They can't get you moving no more, right? They can't dangle a carrot on the string for you no more and make you move no more. All of that's over. Why? Because that's those that are alive from the dead, right? Let's end it. And your members as instruments of righteousness unto God. Now your body is what? Instruments for righteousness unto the Most High, right? So anybody, if you trying to hurt me, you ain't doing nothing but hurting yourself. You can't hurt me, right? Especially if you call yourself uh having anything to do with the Most High, right? Especially if you're on the Most High side. If you're on the Most High side and you ain't rooting for me, then you confused, right? Because his desires and the things that he wanted was right here. Where else? You think he care about politics? He told you not to even be over there. He told you not to even pick no king over there. He said if you pick a king, you better pick him out the Israelites. He don't care about their politics. He don't care how they throw around what they throwing around. Yeah, they gonna throw things around in your face and let you see it and not give you none. Why are you so shocked about that? Oh, they gave them this and they only gave us that. We the Israelites. He ain't giving us nothing. We got the Father. They like go to your Father. Why you trying to get a piece of this Job 9:24? That's what they saying. Get out of here. Go pray. They ain't giving you nothing. They ain't giving you nothing. Right? How you gonna get mad about that? Yeah, they gonna take care of their own. Like we supposed to be taking care of us. Right? It's supposed to be like that. You supposed to take care of your own. We don't have nothing. Why don't we have anything? So-called leaders out there, why don't you have anything? You so quick to pull it out on somebody else who asking you for something that you can give them right there on the spot because you ask amiss, right? That's why. That's why you don't have it, because you ask amiss. I know you know that precept. How are we crying about politics? Really? That's what we own now? We worried about what Gentiles get? Yeah. They gave them $5,000 cash. They gave them $12,000 food stamps. Yeah, they did that for an immigrant coming from overseas. Ain't put a drop of sweat into this country. What more do they need to show you? You should have been over it. You should have been over that. Long time ago, when you didn't get that 40 acres in that mule, you should have been over that. Or when they blew up Black Wall Street and Roswell and all of that, We was doing our thing then, didn't need no help from them, and they blew that up. Yeah. They know why we ain't got nothing, and they ain't teaching you how to get it either. They ain't even skinning, they ain't even skinning uh what to get it for us. They ain't even saying how are you asking? They ain't even having us ask as a nation, right? To be guided. Getting together and praying toward the east. Why? Because the Most High say, well, first of all, them guys in the front, put them in the back. They're going to lose their position if they do that. That's why they don't want you going to the Most High, because they want to stand in between you and the Most High. Why? Because if you get to the Most High going to tell you, man, why you following them jokers? Kamad says, I always felt bad to ask that question. Why don't we have anything, leadership? Well, you got plenty. You're giving it to them. Right? All we got to do is throw a nickel in the pot, and we can do amazing things. If all of us just threw a nickel in the pot. And let me tell you, you're giving them way more than the nickel, baby. Right? They buying mansions. Right? They just went on vacation. My leadership here in California, they went to Hawaii. When I left the church and they went to Hawaii. And the other bishops was coming over here from other places, came to the Los Angeles GOCC and talked crazy about me up in there. Made me somebody that you got to watch out for because I'm stealing everything from everybody. And I'm this and I'm that and I'm blah, blah, and I ain't done nothing to nobody. Right? That's crazy. But that's what happened. And this is what's going on. So they could do whatever they want to right now, y'all. So all of them that's back in that congregation, I pray none of them are here. I pray none of them are here, but for them that are back there, if they lack anything, it's sad because they already paid for it. Your wildest dream could come true right now, and it's brand new every year. How many years worth do they have of all of these academies, all of these tithes, all of these offerings, all of these calendars, right? All of these I am apparel, you name it. Of how many thousands of people? For how many years? They filthy rich, y'all. I seen a lot happen. Shout out to Elder Nadar, wherever you at. You know, because it was a whole lot of money that got him into trouble. Some things he didn't want to do with it, you know. Some things he was like, nah, I ain't doing that. You better come get this money. I don't know how you gonna do it or what you gonna do with it, but it's a lot, and I don't want it attached to my name. And that got him into all kind of trouble, you know. And he was left with all of that money for who knows how long until he told the church about it. Listen, I got all of this money. Communication ain't right. Things ain't right. This and that ain't right. And that got him booted, right? And excommunicated and all of that. I remember that. I remember that well. And this was a long time ago. So it's been many years since that. Cats is rich, y'all. Filthy. JJ, he calculated, the revenue that it takes to keep a Passover for 1 year. And what's being spent on it compared to what it costs to throw it, man, it's a fortune left over, y'all. I didn't finish. Yeah, I did. And your members as instruments of righteousness unto God. That was the end of Romans 6 and 13. Delise, I finished it. But I get what you're saying, though. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I did go off on a tangent, but I mean, it's sad, you know, to see where people are putting their trust at. Kamai says it's sad, especially knowing people that were in the body personally that had to create GoFundMe's, right, to get help. I personally started giving my tithes and offerings to the people in need in the church, right? And that should not be so. But hey, that is what that is. And I wish I didn't go into that, but I did, right? But just thinking, because it's too much of these scriptures, man, that got butchered, man. So it's hard to read these scriptures and not think about what is what has been done blatantly in our face. Hold up, this piece. Shalom, I'm doing good. I'm on live right now. Where you at? Okay. All right. Yeah, that was Peasy right there. He about to link in by so-called elders. Hey, but I mean, what if they repented, y'all? Right? And let me throw that out there, right? That's why I'm not trusted. That's why I ain't no good. Because I didn't come out of One West, y'all. I'm something altogether different. I didn't come out of One West. I wasn't a part of the Kufi wearing brews in the 50s and 60s, right? That thought we was Khazars. I never worn a star in my life. How many of them can say that? I'm not a part of that, right? And I don't know if the Most High was ever with any of that. I don't know if he ever had a say in any of those groups, y'all. None of them, right? And this latest elder, he got the drop on that, and he knew how to put the pretty front face on it. Cause the rest of those guys, we know they wild, right? They don't care. They don't care what you think. They don't care about showmanship or none of that. You know, the other One West groups, they just came out raw, right? Now, see, this latest guy, he put a pretty face on it, right? He took a lot from the Christian church to get you to win your trust over and to put on a nice mask, right? And it worked. The perfect mixture of Israelite life and the and the Christian church, Salakia. And it was explosive, y'all. It did a beautiful thing. It made it softer for the Christians to convert, right? Because I remember seeing IUIC and them guys and UPK and GMS. I'm like, well, I'm staying away from them cats. But GOCC, they made it believable. Like, oh, okay. Mild mannered guys, cuff your fists out in front of you and just take it easy, and be gentle. It looked good in the beginning. But was it any better? No, because it's a total facade, right? You find out behind closed doors, something else is going on. They were just able to disguise it better, that's all. But yeah, I never wore no star. I never was a part of One West or none of that. This is raw, straight from the Father, right? Pure, pure Hebrewism, right? We got the right one now. And now let's build off of this. Let's build off of this. The Most High is with this. Ask me how I know. Because he pulled me out of here to tell me, oh, this is something altogether different, y'all. And you're going to see his power work. And this is raw. This is raw. This is all whatever you see blessings come this way is going to be from the Most High. It's going to be from the Most High. So shout out to Miss E who says, don't be discouraged, my brother. Keep pushing for the Most High. I see 400 views, but about 10% in likes. It's only a remnant on this narrow path. Only a few. Many false prophets have come into the world. That's right, my sister. All praises to the Most High. When I read that, whatever I was finna talk about, I was like, never mind. You can talk about this. Right? I'm not going to get discouraged, sis. My heart will stop first. Right? It don't even take courage to do this. Right? I just hit this button and just say whatever comes to mind. Right? Ain't nothing false here, none of that. That's who got to put a lesson together because a persona don't match this book. You know? So they got to put together a guide from when they click their camera on to when they turn their camera off. They got to be following, right, a step-by-step roadmap, right? Because if they wore their heart on their sleeve, they would tell on themselves. Nah, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I don't hide nothing. I don't hold nothing back. So the things that you heard that you didn't like, that's probably about as bad as it gets. If you could get over that hump, then we can build something. Right? Or not. Or we don't have to. You know what I mean? It's cool. I did what he told me to do. I said what he told me to say. It's up to us when we get it or not. When we come together and apply ourselves, that's when we're going to see results. But me, I'm already delivered. I didn't have to come back here. Right? I'm only back, why? For you. I'm doing everything I tell you to do. The things I'm telling you to do, I'm already doing it. I have nothing to win, I have nothing to lose. Right? I'm just trying to spread this mentality. Like I said, I'm just knocking on your door every day or whenever I hit this button. I done knocked on your door, I'm coming in to sit down. Or you step out and we gonna sit on your porch and we gonna chop it up. Right? How many is thinking about what we talk about when we not live? Because that's what's important. You know, Ak, you have showed me how to be a spiritually mature person, one with godly character, exhibiting traits like self-control, humility, and the Most High's character. All praises to the Most High, Denise. All praises, sister. That's all this is about. You know, it ain't about no script. I don't want to show anybody how to follow a script. Trying to show us how to just be natural. and how to naturally have it. Because when you do that, that's really who you are. That's really who you are. And this is really who I am. All day, every single day. Right? This is just when I hit this button, right? And we share this. But this is what I'm doing, whether this camera is on or not. Got to get back to that music, though. Got to get back to the music. You know, shout out to my brother Peasy, man. He got that fire lit. Y'all finna hear something real soon. Right? Could be the Father's will. Already done set up that third RV. I set that third RV up and padded it out. Y'all seen it. I would be in there if it wasn't so far away from the Starlink. That thing was bugging that day. I tried to tap in from over there. But yeah, that's where I'm gonna record at though. And I'm about ready to start recording now. You know? Yeah, we all right. All right. Got it back. Got it back. But we gonna bring this back, y'all. Uh we gonna have to bring in another installment of the Want Nothing. This wasn't it. It was some of it, but the main parts we needed to hit, we didn't hit, and it's gonna take more time to hit it because our ex our expectations got to go, and our expectation got to be his, y'all. Right? Because when our expectations are his, we can't fail, y'all. Let me get some sevens if I'm coming through. If y'all can hear me. Praises. Kabang. It's where we file in. If you need to reach out for any reason, it's right there. Right? And yeah. See, let me read the chat. Read you in the chat a little bit. Delise drops Matthew 5 and 8. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Remember when we dropped that? The bar math? right? That's that real deal right there. Shout out to my brother Bar Moth. Just stepped in the building, right? Shout out Ricardo Gonzalez, cruising in the building. Sister Ella, Benbury. I got to get you over to Brother Shin. Sister Naomi. Shalom, Brother Brian. Sister Naomi here in Hawaii. I was just watching one of your other lives and saw you were live now. So I hopped on. All praises, Sister Natalie in the building, right? Shout out to all my real Usos out there, the real ones, right? Out in Samoa, right? I was raised with a lot of my Us, you know what I'm saying? I know the culture very well, you know? Shout out to the Hawaiians, the Guamanians, right? And a lot of people don't know it, but the Filipinos fall up under that umbrella, right? They are not Asians, right? They're not Japanese. Filipinos are Israelites, right? Same thing with the Cambodians. I know you see them lips on them Cambodians, them Laotians, stuff like that. They coming from another part of them Asian lands where our people was. And Jacob has a limp. They have that limp. If you watch them walk, right? Let's go to that. Let's get that. That's a good one to go out on. All of Jacob has a limp, right? That's Genesis 32. Genesis 32, if you need to see, I'm the real seed of Jacob, that's who I be. According to your world, I'm the lowest of low, but according to a higher, I'm as high as it go. Yeah, let's start. Where should we start at? In Genesis 32. All the way down to the end. Okay. And then, so, okay, let's go to verse 24. Right? Genesis 32 and 24. It says, and Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him unto the breaking of the day. Right? So Jacob was left by himself, right? In the late hours of the night, almost morning, almost dawn, right? And he wrestled with a man. He wrestled with the man until the breaking of day, right? Until it started getting light out. 25. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, so the angel, the man he wrestled with was an angel. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, so when the angel couldn't take Jacob down, he touched him in the thigh, right? He touched him in the hollow of his thigh. That's on the side of his, you know what I mean? He touched him there, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint. So all he did was touch Jacob's top, touch his thigh, and he knocked it out of joint, right? So he dislocated Jacob's leg, right? As he wrestled with him. 26. And he said, "Let me go, for the day breaketh." So the angel's trying to get on, right? But Jacob got him. Our forefather was bad, y'all. He bad, right? The angel couldn't do nothing with him halfway, right? So he said, "Let me go, for the day breaketh." You know, the angel trying to get up out of there, you know, and that takes me back to verse 24 when it says, "And Jacob was left alone." If he was left alone, how he wrestled with a man? The man was an angel, y'all, right? And the angel is trying to get up out of there. Come on, man. People gonna see me. You know, the day is about to break. Let me go, right? 26. And he said, "Let me go, for the day breaketh." And he said, Jacob said, "I will not let thee go, except thou bless me." Right? So check Jacob out, right? Nah, I ain't letting you go till you bless me. Right? 27. And he said unto him, "What is thy name?" And he said, "Jacob." Now he gonna hit him with the blessing, right? 28. And he said, "Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel." So this where the name came from, y'all. This where the Yasha Allah came from, right here, right? Reading on. "For as a prince, thou hast power with God and with men," right? "And has prevailed." So, so we got power with God and with men. It's our job to merge God with men, y'all. That's our job. And the people who are running this world, they don't want us linking the earth with God. So they got to keep us down. You know, they love Satan. Why? Because Satan give you everything free for a time, right? He's giving it to you free for now, but you're going to perish in the end, right? But he don't want to have to keep this law and this gospel to have it, right? To get it eternally. Nah, they on the other team, right? So they got to keep people on that other team, y'all, and keep their own dominion rolling. They don't want this, right? But that's for us. That's for the poor man. That's for the meek. That's why he going to inherit the earth, right? "For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and has prevailed." 29. And Jacob asked him and said, "Tell me, I pray thee, thy name." And he said, "Wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name?" And he blessed him there. right? So whoever this angel is, he don't want to tell Jacob who he is. Why? Because that wasn't his mission. You know, he wasn't down here to be found out and all of that. Who knows what kind of agreement he had with the Most High, right? But for whatever reason, his name wasn't important to give up who he was, right? 29, let's read it again. And Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name? And he blessed him there. 30, and Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, right? For I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved, right? We're always naming something, right? And when we name something, it goes forth as that, right? 31, and as he passed over Penuel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. That's where our limp comes from, right? Every son of Jacob has it. He halted upon his thigh, right? And as he passed over Penuel, the sun rose up, right? Jacob with his hurt leg, right? That thing was snapped out of joint by an angel, right? So that stuck with him forever, right? And in all his children. How deep is that? That an angel do that to your leg and it goes through all of your children, right? Let's read 31 again. And as he passed over Penuel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. And that's what we doing. That's why we halt. You know, you might call it the gangster limp. They call it a lot of things in the world, right? But that's proving you're a descendant of Jacob, right? 32. This is the magic verse. Therefore, the children of Israel eat not of the sinew which shrank. What is eat not? To use. It means we don't use whatever it is, right? That'll take that limp away. That's why we limp, right? On one side of us. We eat not, which means we use not the sinew. What is sinew? It's the tissues. It's the tissues of the part of the hip that got touched, right? Angel touched me on the hip. Now that's how I walk, huh? Which is upon the hollow of the thigh. It's telling us we would limp, y'all. Therefore, the children of Israel eat not of the sinew which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh. How long? Until this day. Wherever we are today, we're going to have that limp, right? Why? It's going to tell us why. Because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh. In the sinew, that shrank. Right? So if you know, a lot of us can disguise it, you know, a lot of us, we may not walk with it or you can't see it, but I bet you they feel it. They feel it in their foot when they're walking. You have a slight limp in your leg, right? Even if you can't see it, even if it's real subtle, it's there. But I bet you if you get excited, or anything, if you start feeling yourself a little bit too much, right? Or who knows what'll bring it out, you know? But it'll come out. Depending on what's going on in your head, that limp will come out of your leg if you're walking, right? Yeah, so that limp in that limp in the children of Israel's leg is biblical, y'all, right? And there was something back here that reminded me of something else. Yeah. Remember when I was telling y'all that I could lay in the ditch and play with bugs all day and that'll be my life. I don't expect nothing from life or living or any. Guess where that comes from? Adam, y'all. That's all Adam was doing in the beginning before he got into all of that trouble, right? Naming stuff, right? And how Jacob named that place where he was at. He named it according to what happened between him and the angel. That's us, always naming something. Why? Because that was our job in the beginning. That's all Adam was doing in the Garden of Eden, was naming everything, giving everything a name. Ain't it? Yeah, that's being like Adam, right? That's because I am reduced to that simple being that Adam was in the very beginning, y'all, before he bit that fruit, y'all. Right? That's why I don't care about anything. That's why I don't want anything. Right? When you got it in your heart, you don't need it in your pocket. I feel like I already own every piece of gold in this earth. I feel like it's already mine. I feel like it's already in my pocket. What I need, I don't need nothing. I don't need anything, right? I'm satisfied already, right? My satisfaction is in the simplest, the smallest things. I don't need anything, right? And we're going to go into that on the second installment of Want Nothing, right? Because this joint was tripping and everything else. And we got kind of sidetracked. We didn't really hit the scriptures we needed to hit. And we didn't drive home the points that we need to drive home. But I'm simple, y'all. I said it somewhere else too. Easily entreated, right? Right? I'm like Adam. Simple as the day is old, I said. Right? Go listen to that one time for me, if you will. The easily entreated, you know? And that's before my incident, right? And the Most High articulated that too in my experience, y'all. He loves this. He loves all this music, y'all. Right? And it has a lot to do with why he snatched me out of here. Right? He loves it. He loves a lot, though. He loves a lot of things in you, right? So if you hear, man, all praises to the Most High. If you awake, the other places you could be and all of that, if you're not there and you're here, man, that's speaking volumes. That's speaking volumes, y'all. Because that man's influence is strong, y'all. Once he get you, he got you. You know, so if you hear, man, yikes. It said that they would, you know, deceive the very elect, y'all. So they're good. They're gonna show signs and wonders, right? What signs and wonders? Man, we're gonna have to go into that. We're gonna bring that. Whoo. Let's make a note. We're gonna make a note and we're gonna visit that on one of these. About deceiving the elect, right? With signs and wonders. What signs? What wonders? What is a wonder? It'll blow your mind. That's what it is. You won't be able to believe. You will wonder how you got took down by this thing. That's what a wonder is, right? You will wonder, you won't know. It'll be something to wonder about. It's going to blow your mind, right? That's what a wonder is. Signs and wonders. What signs? He's going to deceive you with signs. So what is he using? Signs that should have been for the righteous. He's going to entice you with those signs. And those signs are going to make you wonder, right? Like, nah, it can't be that because it is. And when it's all melted down in the pot, guess what? It's really that. Nah. Yeah, he enticed you with signs and wonders. Right? And it is also true that he had his reasons for doing that. He needed to appeal. All right. But Shalom, everybody. Let's shut this thing down. Right? And I'm gonna hit this button as soon as I can, and we're gonna hang out again, all right? I'm gonna jump off here right now though and try to figure out what we're gonna do next. Right? And figure out what else we gonna go into. Try to pick a good one for us. Right? And y'all hit up the email. Right? Everything in the description. Go to that description, y'all. The things that's in that description, that's what's gonna keep us, you know, good and solid in doing this, right? So, all right, I'll holler at y'all soon. Shalom.